Podcast with Phyllis and Belinda. I'm Belinda.
And I'm Phyllis.
And today we're going to talk about General Hospital.
Yeah, what's going on in Port Charles? The show we watch regularly, we see a lot of stuff all the time. There's a lot going on with the show. They just finished the writer's strike, so we might be seeing the original writers' work pretty soon before Sweeps is out.
Yeah, we heard, I won't say the date because I don't...
I don't know.
We heard a date, and I don't want to say the date, and it was different.
And it's not right.
And it's not right. But we did hear very soon. I mean, it could be out already. I don't know. People may know already. But anyway, I heard it soon.
Yeah, very soon. Within the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, there you go.
We should see
and you'll know
the original stuff.
You will know because, as you know, when you watch General Hospital, they are not showing the names of the tip writers.
Oh, right. Like, the opening credits. The writers aren't listed.
Yeah, Bold and Beautiful, the writers are listed.
Right.
And days of our lives, you haven't seen the work of the new writers yet. Because
right. They're 6 months ahead.
6 months ahead. So what you're watching now is from the original writers.
Right. The original concepts.
The original writers that you see every day. And Young and the Restless.
Who knows?
I don't know at the moment. And I watched the show. But anyway, we're talking about General Hospital.
Yeah, GH.
Yeah, we're talking about GH. So it's we've had 2 days since November Sweeps.
Yeah, it feels like it, and it doesn't. It feels like it as far as like movement and some of these storylines that have just been sitting on the sidelines, sitting idle, waiting for the strike to end before they can finish. You're kind of like stalling.
And stalling.
Yeah, and stalling, waiting for it to end. But we do have some movement.
We do have some movement, and I must say, I guess I shouldn't have said November Sweeps since it is in November, but everyone gets what I'm talking about. Sweeps. It sweeps, and it started, and we're second day. Tomorrow will be, the third day of it. And one thing I'll say about the temporary writers,
yes,
is I thought they did a good job moving the story along.
Yes,
of course,
considering
their stories you're gonna like, and their stories you're not gonna like. If we all like the same thing, it would be one big,
Yeah, but they move stuff along as far as like Sasha's story with Gladys and the doctor that's drugging her. Gladys needs to have her money, which is so weird because it in theory or on paper it sounds like a good story, but it just went on and on, took some twists, took some turns. You think that she's made it, and then all of a sudden it happens again, but it just continued. It was more of the same thing. It wasn't any different, or it didn't have a little twist or anything like that. You know what? But they finally moved it along.
Well, you know what? And that's the one thing I did like about it. That's the one thing I did like about the show. And then, of course, there's some things, I didn't like that happens. But like I said, it's always going to be some things you love, some things you don't, and some things I love, other people don't like. And,
it wouldn't be a soap opera.
It wouldn't be a soap opera if it wasn't. Right. It wouldn't be drama.
Right.
But since you mentioned the Sasha, Cody.
Sasha and Cody story.
Gladys.
Yes. Good God.
Dr.
Montegue.
A bunch of underfives getting all this airtime.
1 million underfives.
There's so many underfives getting story. That doctor was one of them. The doctor had more airtime than
Elizabeth.
Yeah. If you look at his episode, I haven't looked at his episode count.
Characters put together.
It was him. It was the nurse, which is Josh's wife. She was there. There was
Josh's wife
that were involved in the storyline that you just didn't need. You needed in that storyline. You needed Gladys, Sasha, the deception people. Mrs. Wu, who started it, but you didn't really see her much in it.
Right.
And it just went on and on and on and on and on. I'll let you go on more because I don't not like that. I don't like that storyline at all.
Yeah. I like the story.
Never liked it from the beginning.
Like I said, it's good on paper, but the execution could have used a teeny bit more work. But with the story, Sasha was trying to get Gladys was trying to keep Sasha's conservatorship going, and I just wondered if the whole thing was inspired by the Britney Spears story to begin with. You never know.
It just reminded me so much of it.
Yeah, well, Gladys had her gambling problem, and she was in charge of Sasha's money. She has a boatload of money, so she wanted to keep the conservatorship. So this doctor, who had gambling problems the same time as she did is Gladys, who was Sasha's conservator and her mother-in-law, was trying to keep her under her control, quote unquote. And Gladys supposedly had good intentions. She wasn't quite Eva. She loved Sasha. She just didn't know what to do. And it just didn't quite play the way that it could have played. But anyway, they had Nina in the storyline for a bit. And Nina was supposed to come. But then there was no follow through. Yeah. Because Nina left to go to Puerto Rico to get married. She gave the Dr. Montegue the money. She went to demand that she went to Gladys and demanded that I need to know something about Sasha and you need to figure out what's going on. But then she never followed through. Sasha's getting ready to pack up and leave town now. And where's Nina? Nina hasn't had a single conversation with her to make sure she's okay, to make sure she's all right. It's just all these little itty bitty things that didn't quite work.
Nina basically said, I came for the thing. I went by to check on Sasha.
I wrote my check.
I went by to talk to Sasha, and I've been in love with this man since he was Mike, and he wants to get married. Yeah, and I'm out of here.
Yeah, bye, Sasha.
Bye. I don't care about my family. I don't care about anybody else.
Yeah, I'm about to snag me.
I am getting this man.
Michael Sonny Corinthos Jr.
I have no one to check in with. I got nothing to do. But I'm going to go see Valentine.
Yeah, Valentine's my Valentine shirt. I'm going to get you one for Christmas. They still have some.
They're still they're the only couple. Yeah, they're the only couple, the only person, Valentine, that is still on the show. Because all the other couples that they have on these shirts
are gone.
Are all not even together anymore.
That's funny.
But you can get Valentine as my Valentine because that shirt still works. Anyway. Yeah. And she went to go see Valentine and just to tell him she was going out of town
and get if he married, needed any help,
and if
let her know about Charlotte,
about the Charlotte thing. But in the meantime, she didn't check with Ava. She basically said they totally just had Nina thinking
Nina's I'm going to my island, so I'm on my island on my own in the storyline.
Nina's I haven't talked to Ava in a couple days. It just was
yeah, but I'll be off of Puerto Rico.
But I'll be off of Puerto Rico. And there's no Lizzo. There's no,
Yeah, none of her family's around.
None of her family. She didn't even tell. They just made it bad. And I don't think the character of Nina would have just took off like that.
Yeah, wouldn't have been as uncaring.
I don't think she would have been so uncaring. But I think it was in the writings. She wasn't going to follow up with Sasha. She wasn't going to follow up whatever. And then it was okay. So who's going? The only people going to the wedding is everyone connected to Sonny.
Yeah, that's the problem with the Nina character. Because she has all these people around her. She has a big community, but they don't use her with they use her with Sonny. Yeah. They use her with Willow to put this whole thing into effect that when this big Nina secret comes out, she's the one
it's going to come out in November.
Yes, yeah. She's the one that reported the crime that Carly and Drew committed, but Nina is the target here. She's the bad guy in this whole thing.
Because even though they committed the crime and they're guilty of the crime.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, but up with that, so they don't do anything. But then the only people that come to this wedding are connected to Sonny.
Sonny's wedding.
Kate Manzi. We got Kate Manzi.
Yeah, Christina.
Okay, I had to think for a second. We got Kate Manzi. She can go. That's Sonny's kid. We have Donna. She's going. That's Sonny's kid.
And you have to have somebody be the little flower girl and the little ring people. And Donna, so we got Wiley.
He's great. That worked.
Yeah,
also, Nina did have one relative there. She had her grandson and then Willow.
And her daughter.
Who she just found out her daughter. So I guess that was okay. But the fact they were all
But that doesn't count.
And then we have that one. And then,
at least they don't count for
and
me.
And then they want Avery to go. But they haven't talked to Nina. It made no sense.
Yeah.
I mean, Sonny would have been Avery can't go. Did they make up some excuse that Avery had to snip?
I don't know, but
it just didn't tie in.
Avery didn't feel good. But what I did like Sonny when Dante said we're gonna go, he goes, I'll catch the next one.
I'll catch it. And Dante said the most realistic thing.
Yeah.
Not so much I'll catch it was funny.
After they got back.
The most realistic thing he said was, all this is going on. The police said, I just can't hop and go.
Yeah, he said, you planned it last minute. I can't just take off and do things.
Decided to go. And I'm like, did someone not? I know the script coordinator is on strike, but this Sunny in the Puerto Rico island, and it was just like, we're in Puerto Rico, but Sunny has an island. I'm thinking, are we not tracing back to what happened anyway?
The island's off Puerto Rico. I don't know, but they like to throw that Puerto Rico in on it,
and that's fine.
And
the minute there was a leaked script that said Puerto Rico, you knew it was Sunny.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, great, we're tying back in. And it didn't really tie back. There was just too many weird things happening, and I won't even talk about when the mystery person appeared out of nowhere.
Yeah, we
on Sunny's island, but it really isn't an island, but it's a church or whatever.
But I will say this.
But
it was a destination wedding. I love soap opera weddings. There always needs to be some kind of thing going on. But the thing about it is, you have your nice wedding, you have whatever.
It would look great.
But then there's supposed to be some kind of drama. Some kind of thing. Okay, Michael found out that Nina was the person who, committed the crime of calling the SEC about Carly and her crime. Mm-hmm. And there was no follow-up on it.
No follow-up.
They went out the show went on the next day as if everything was peachy keen. Yeah. I'm like, okay, they're going to get married. Not when they cut the cake. Not when they find out anything. He's not going to find out the next day. He's not going to make the toast and he's going to say it then.
Michael got on the plane so fast and got out of there. It was like
he was chicken. I'm like, man, Michael, tell her. Tell Sunny right in front of Nina. Tell Nina right in front of Sunny.
You needed Michael to walk up in there and say, Nina, do you want to tell him or I? Go off the show Friday.
Nothing.
Come back on Monday, and she's like, what are you talking about? So-and-so, so-and-so. And then you have Willow going, honey, it's not the right time to do this and whatever. And then, what's going on, Grandma, Donna? Take the kids out. Christina moved the kids. What do you say,
Which is what should have happened at this wedding, but didn't.
It's like, to have a wedding when there's no drama, and everyone does something. Everybody gets married, you know, but then there's always some drama. And the last person we saw that got married was Curtis and Portia back in February. Wasn't that the last one we saw? And there was some drama.
Yeah, exactly.
They get married, and then the drama's coming. Or someone's coming up and dead. They stop the wedding. Soap opera, 101. But to have that, it was kind of, and I don't know, maybe
it'll happen at the Thanksgiving table.
I really think since they had planned this, 5 months in advance. I really think the strike threw them off, and they wanted to save it for November. I don't know what I think.
Yeah, you can't. Don't try to fix it. You can't. You can't help it. They can't help it. They're working with what they have. So I'll just say, again, destination wedding. Wedding was beautiful. It was really cute with the little, the little kiddos and stuff. Cynthia Watros, who plays Nina, looked beautiful. Yeah. So it was fantastic, and it would be fine. And Sunny and Nina are happy for a little bit. Yeah, it's fine. Let's move on.
All right, I won't fix it. Girl,
don't try.
Help it. Girl can't help it.
Girl can't help it.
Girl can't help it. Song by Journey. Oh, I love that song by Journey.
God, here we go.
Song by Journey came out in the 80s.
When Games came out in the 80s.
Came out in the 80s. With Steve Perry, who I think is one of the greatest things of all time, just kills that song. If you're too young and you're listening to this podcast and you don't know the song Girl Can't Help It by Journey, or if you're...
look it up, because it might show up as a category on Jeopardy in one of the answers, and you might need the question.
Or if you're any age, you should look it up, because it's on the Raised on Radio album, and a lot of people may not know that song. But anyway... Anytime you can throw in an 80s reference,
and she will,
you gotta do it.
Yeah, and she does it.
You told me not to fix it. You told me I can't help it, and a girl can't help it, and it came out. Anyway, we weren't even going to talk about Sunny and Nina on this podcast today.
You did it.
But somehow it's because we were talking about...
You came up.
It's because we were talking about Sasha and Cody, and it threw back to Nina. But anyway, so now we talked about them. We can't talk about... you
can't talk about everybody.
Podcast, you can't talk about everything on the podcast. Would be 3 or 4 hours long. So we have to talk about certain topics or whatever. So we'll move along.
Yeah, move on.
Let's talk about Lois, Eddie.
Oh, yeah. Lois, Eddie, Brooklyn, Tracy, all that business.
Let's talk about that. First of all, I love me some Wally Kurth.
Yes, I know you do.
I love me some Wally.
She does. She loves him as Ned.
Oh, as Ned.
Eddie. And as
Eddie.
Justin from Days.
Yeah, I love me some Wally.
Yeah,
love
she loves
Wally.
this actor.
Love this actor. You don't see Wally a lot. He's a recurring character. He's on 2 different soap operas. You don't see him a lot. So you really don't see him like, where's Wally? Where's Wally? You are seeing Wally.
Yeah.
Here he comes.
Yes.
You're seeing him, and they do the story, and they bring back Eddie May.
Yeah.
You know, of course,
his alter ego
as you remember
character
months
when he
and months
first
and months
came
ago
on the show.
Yeah, you remember months and months ago, and I think we've been talking about on our podcast. He fell. He found out about Nina's secret.
Yeah.
He fell. He hit his head. He fell in the pool, and now all of a sudden he has amnesia.
Yeah, he has no recollection of being Ed Quartermain.
None at all. So we got 2 characters running around. Don't know what they're doing. But anyway, and that's fine. So next he comes to the hospital, like months ago. I think we even talked about it. And he wakes up. He doesn't know who he is. And then the issue I had was that he thought he was Eddie Main. And I'm like, well, if you go back in the history of it, he was he wasn't. He had his memory. That was how do you say it?
He had amnesia.
No, he made it up. You know, it wasn't.
It was just an alter ego.
Alter ego.
He was Hannah Montana, but older.
Yeah, Chris Gaines,
right.
Hannah Montana. You know, it wasn't
Chris Gaines.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Garth Brooks, Chris Gaines.
It wasn't. But the way they're making it, she's like, I don't know who you are, and they got Leo all upset and everything else, and they're running this and running. He's trying to pick up on Carly. He's trying to pick up on Nina. He apparently likes blondes. He's running around, and the whole time I'm thinking, if you were going to do an Eddie Main storyline, you shouldn't be doing that storyline without Lois.
Right.
You know, you should be doing without Lois.
Lois, Brooklyn's mother. The love of Ned and Eddie's life.
Like, we said it for weeks.
Right.
But in the meantime, they got Lisa LaCicero running around, all upset. He doesn't love me. They're going on and on. He's at
Lisa LaCicero, who's Olivia.
He's trying to sing. They got Marshall. They're doing all this stuff. And the whole entire time, I'm like,
where's Lois?
If you don't have Lois, you should be doing the storyline. You know, you should be bring Ricky Martin in. You know,
if only.
Well, that ain't happening. He's on tour, but
girl, try.
But I'm saying if you got to bring the characters, bring the pieces, mention these things. But
and they did.
So they're just going on the storyline.
They did.
And all of a sudden, I'm thinking she's not on Bold and the Beautiful anymore. This would be perfect. She even was on.
You're talking about Rena Soper.
Rena Soper. She was even on the Just podcast, and they asked her, would you consider coming back? And she said if it was, a proper story, she would reconsider if it's a proper storyline and she's not just backing up other characters and she got things, she would do it. I thought, well, she didn't say no.
Right.
She did not say no. So then I decided it's never going to happen to her. And then rumors started, and next thing we know, she's here.
Right. It was fantastic.
And they worked it out so great because there was this, she's got the whole, it's like the whole thing all over again.
They really kept true to the character.
I know some people are saying that no one talks that way in the dark and it's a little over the top, but she's always on the top.
Right.
Her outfits, everything else. And then the best part I thought about it was like, she's like, who are you? You should know me. I'm your wife. Okay, so they went off, and then it was like 3 days later. I'm like, no, it should have been the next day. But you're my wife.
What's up with the pickups?
Yeah, the pickups. It should immediately continue the next day. Then if you want to pass it for 3 days later. But anyway, the one thing I did like was 3 days later, it's a whole new day, and he's coming out, good morning. And I'm like, what happened with this wife conversation?
Yeah, he saw her and didn't really
that get cut?
Notice anything, right.
But the one thing I did like was that they did a flashback.
Yes, you did.
And they had a flashback. Like it was so great. It was long, but it was perfect because
it was their character's history for the newer viewers who probably didn't know anything about it. Like, who is this woman and why is she there? She's Brooklyn's mother.
Yeah, they showed you the history of it. You saw it. You saw the thing. They were able to use the clips because the
original footage,
and they just have so much chemistry. And you just watch it back. Well, they ended up falling in love and they got married in real life, and they were married at one time, but you just see it, and it was just like, this is perfect. And
what do you think of the story?
You have Lois coming in, and her and Tracy. There ain't no love lost there,
right?
Oh God, I'm gonna miss Jane Elliott when she leaves. But I mean, she's just, and I like it. You need her coming, and she needs to say her 6 months, and you need to stretch it out those 6 months into a year.
Right. Well, she anchors the Quartermain family.
And the problem that we're having is that, especially with Monica not being, you don't have that person, and that's where you throw Tracy in.
Right.
And so Tracy comes in and right back at it. How you doing, Brooklyn? Hi, Tracy. Her and Lois are right at it. Brooklyn's already mad at her and all this, and then she ties into the Brooklyn storyline because Tracy and Brooklyn, she kind of, had the whole thing with the deception shares and all that. So that part I actually like. I didn't think I was going to like this whole thing.
It.
I didn't think I was going to like it, but I do like it. And I like that Brooklyn and Chase are finally together, because that took like 2 years, and they got together and broke up like 2 seconds later.
Yeah,
and then it went on forever,
2 years and a day.
And then they got back together, and I really think they're hitting around now with, I won't even get into Chase's family, but they're hitting around now with those two being together. I think that's gonna be the next. Like,
you know what I would like?
I think that's gonna be the next engagement and wedding and all that. Because
that would be my storyline.
I think that's what's gonna happen. I have no inside, no scoop or leads, but I think that's gonna be it, based on the dad, Gregory.
I would love it if they got married.
Gonna die, and he wants to fill it all out.
Yeah, and he wants to have them rush the wedding or something, and then they figure, no, they can't rush the wedding. Tracy wants one thing. Lois wants one thing. Brooklyn just wants to get married. She's not even thinking about this whole thing.
Of course, Olivia wants to take it over because
Eddie
Brooklyn's
wants
like
to sing the whole 9 yards.
Eddie wants to sing.
And I want them to just go ahead and elope like they do normally anyway.
I think it'd be kind of cute. It's too much trouble. We're just going to elope and take off?
Yeah. I think it would be kind of cute to have like a little wedding to mix Chase's family, who consists of Finn and consists of his dad, Gregory, who's dying of ALS or something. Yes, and ALS. With little Violet, she's going to be a flower girl at some point. Leo will probably be the little boy that carries the rings. We got it all set. We got it. Hopefully we got it all set. We're all ready for February. Yes, we'll get a wedding by then.
It ain't going to happen then. We're going for February. And all that, and I know Rena's on a short contract right now,
right?
So I don't know how long she's staying, but at least we got her to fill it in, and we got some, characters,
right?
Some old time characters back,
to
mix with the new characters, and we need
I like
that.
It. Mm-hmm.
Like, you need the veterans, and to tie into the storyline. But I always love to see the vets. I know some people love them.
Well, I know, but you got to have some sort of familiarity.
The vets have to do something. They have to. I'm not saying we need to see 1,000 storylines with them, but it kind of leads them in. Like, we got this person who their kids are this to keep the tradition going. You should be able to see, like, you should be like the teen set, the young adult set, the older set, and then we have the grandparents set. And I'm hoping they can work more on that.
Yeah, they can build an element more, because out of all the soaps, they're the least one who does that very well.
The least one.
The one that can improve a lot more.
The least one, When you watch the other soaps, you see Grandpa, you see so-and-so, and you see kids.
Yeah.
And, on this show...
They're trying.
They're trying.
With Maxie's kids.
Yeah.
You get to see them a little while. They're hopefully trying to build up the teen set a little bit, so we're hoping that we'll get to see that a little bit more.
Yeah, we're hoping to see that. Okay, of course, we got to talk about our girl Elizabeth.
Oh, Elizabeth. Okay. I like the Grey's Anatomy feel of the hospital. They have the whole thing going. There's some patients, like advocacy. You have Stella, you have Felicia, you have the nurses. I'd like to see Elizabeth more involved. Oh, no, and we have Portia and we have Terry running the hospital. I'd like to see Elizabeth more involved in the patient advocacy, patient story, talking to the nurses, talking to the general patients and stuff. I'd like to see her more. What I do like, and I know that a lot of people don't like it, but I do like that she has a relationship with Finn. There's a nurse and a doctor at the hospital. I wish that doctor was Patrick, though.
Oh, yeah.
I need to... Oh, my God. Patrick Drake was my favorite character. Favorite male character. I'd like to take...
he's walking around in Young and the Restless, and I can't take it.
You mean Jason Thompson, yes.
I can't even watch him on Young and the Restless. I have to speed up now.
Okay, yeah.
Anyway.
Stop. I shouldn't have mentioned him. Sorry.
I miss him, Jason
I just like to take Patrick Drake, take Noah Drake, and do something with it. He needs a personality switch, a personality change. a personality like anything, but I do like the idea of the two of them together. But it's like, are they trying to do Meredith Grey and McDreamy? Because he's not McDreamy. He's Mick something.
There are... He's McFinn. He's not McDreamy.
Yeah, we don't need
McFinn.
Yeah.
It's very... I think it's very Nathan Barney.
Change.
I know Nathan Barney is, back on GH, and he did great. I think it's, like, I think that's part of... I shouldn't say it that way, but I think it's part of the influence. Like, the show is trying to find, like, new directions.
Yes.
And I think it's, let's focus on the hospital. Yeah. Because for a while, I used to go General Hospital where they were never in the hospital.
Yeah. Well, let's bring a bunch of nurses. Remember when they had the General Hospital night shift? And they had the nurses, and then they had the interns in the hospital. Yes. Have a bunch of people that Elizabeth can coach, that Elizabeth can run. They need to have some kind of little underlying story with that. And I thought we were going to have that with Willow becoming a nurse. What's her name? Joss. Yeah. She's pre-med. Mm-hmm. We got little Adam, who's like pre-med now. Mm-hmm. Take them and put them in the hospital and have Elizabeth coach them or run them.
They're both in college. Yeah. They should be doing an internship at the hospital.
Yeah. Why are they doing an internship for the summer? Anything.
Amy and the ones that...
Nosy-ass Amy.
Yeah, the one you never see. Yeah. Amy and, what's her name?
Dina.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
If you're bringing under fives,
bring under fives. I know.
We know,
Anyway,
and have them and do something in the hospital. And I'm not saying you got to see.
I like that. We just need to do something more with that.
They threw Stella back, and they have Felicia there,
right? Which is good.
Out of something they threw Felicia. I think they probably threw Felicia in there because of John York is going on medical, is on medical leave. So I think that's it seemed like they did a complete switch with Felicia.
Yeah, they sent her a whole new career, right?
With that, and I'm thinking that's kind of odd, but we get another person in the hospital, and she made a mistake. I thought that was realistic. Finally, she made a mistake, and then of course Stella, took care of it. And then we have the doctors. Then we have TJ. Can we use him?
Yes. Can we do something more with my TJ?
Yeah. I mean, you got a great actor here.
Yeah.
I remember he came on one day and somebody said, "Who's that?"
Oh, yeah. There's a Twitter feed. Someone didn't know who he was. And people were like, "That's TJ." Because they don't show him. And the person was like, "I've never seen him." And so, "Oh, you must be new." No, I've been watching. It was just like, right, yeah.
They didn't know who he was, but we got him. And I think if they do that, but the thing is, I need something for my girl Elizabeth, and I need like a storyline for her, and not a storyline that throws in every other people,
right?
And
one where she saves herself, one when she's just involved with some, I don't know. We need something for her.
I love Michael Easton. Been following Michael Easton from Port Charles, and he's my John
and
McBain.
5,000 characters later.
Oh yeah, but we need to work, but. Finn, even Silas. What's his name? Silas?
Yeah, Silas, one of his other characters.
Yeah. They need to work on Finn. I mean, they brought a whole family in for him, but they need to work on...
like I said, he needs a personality. We need to figure out what to do with McFinn.
You got a new name, McFinn.
Yeah, McFinn.
But it's very obvious they're trying to now set it up to be the McDreamy, and they're like right now, and they're in Vermont. And they're having, in their cabin, and
they're about to, make out have their little,
they're doing all
have
that,
their love thing.
They're
but it's so funny because they're having their love thing, like, oh, Elizabeth's getting, having some fun. She's having a, weekend. She's having a story, but I'm not as excited about it as I was about Spencer and Trina.
Oh, should we? I was saying Spencer and Trina
get to it, girl.
End because I got to talk about Spencer and Trina.
Yeah,
and last time I talked about Spencer and Trina, I went on for about 30 minutes.
Right.
I won't go 30 minutes this time because time
I'm going to go 30.
Yeah, because last time Spencer and Trina was on, I was done. I was over it.
Okay.
I was mad.
They're so cute.
I was so upset. Because we had all this movement in Greenland and all this stuff. They're a couple now.
Right.
They had kissed and everything else, and it was like slow pace.
Right.
And we said it was not. It was slow.
It was molasses.
And people were like,
Elizabeth
and
McFinn were getting the syrup from Vermont slow.
Yeah. At one point, I just thought, what's happening here?
Right.
Finally, months later, like months later.
Hey, but it happened.
We're talking about 3 months later since I was just going ballistic here.
Hey, some slow-burn romances happen in real life too, but not that slow.
Yeah.
But they happen.
Yeah. But all of a sudden, we have something happening here.
Yeah.
They're a couple. They're a couple.
They have a fantastic weekend.
They plan
in
a
New
trip.
York. Yes.
They plan a trip. You know, Spencer's like, oh, we haven't had a chance to get away. Whatever.
They actually go
and whatever.
Yeah,
we're
they
going to plan a
went.
trip. We're going to go to New York. You know, I want to take you some places. I want to do all this stuff. She was like a little nervous. It's going to be her first time. So she talked to her best friend.
Right.
They work it all out.
She talks to her wheelchair dad.
Yeah,
and I'm like, where's Taggart? Whatever. Her real dad, the dad who raised her, who knows? But she talked to Taggart about it.
Wheelchair dad. It's coming out a little wrong. You mean she talked to Curtis?
Yes, Curtis who's in the wheelchair. Yes,
who is her dad,
right?
And not Taggart, who was her dad. That we need to go back.
Tomato.
Yeah, we need to get that DNA test needs to be twisted and get back to Taggart. But anyway, that's all. But we won't.
So she was nervous. She talked to her dad. She talked to her dad. She talked to her best friend. She didn't talk to her mom because her mom's not a big fan of Spencer.
Yeah.
And they built up a lot of anticipation for this trip. And I was here for it. And they had the trip. It was a very pleasant weekend. It was fun. Yeah, it was fantastic.
They went on the trip. And I heard they were going on the trip. And I really didn't believe they were
I know.
I'm
like, oh, something's going to happen.
Something's going to happen. So
they're going to get tired. There's going to be some fog. There's going to be whatever. But nothing happened.
They had a little fake out. And, you know, they had a fake out. But then it worked out and whatever. And they were just so cute. You were finally seeing things that couples do.
Yeah.
When you see couples out, especially young couples. They're on the phone.
Yeah.
You know, they're on 45 minutes. They're always hugging. They're always kissing.
Right.
If you would see Spencer and Trina, and one would be on one side of the couch, one would be on the other side of the couch, and we're like, huh?
Yeah, it's weird.
You know? I was like, why aren't they doing things that
he
normal
came
couples would
to
do?
visit her one time, brought her some coffee.
Yeah.
They text each other. They call each other. We need to see that
they
communication.
were kissing.
And we're starting to see it.
They came there. You know, he finally gave her the doves. Like, things were actually happening. We waited for those doves since December. And I was like, finally, it was kind of like the writers were like, you know what, we got the new writer, so and so, we got the calls, we got the phone calls, we got the letters, we got, you know, people, the emails. People were asking for it.
It's like when you tell your dad, Dad, when we going to Disney, when we going to Disney, when we going to Disney, and Dad's like, well, you know what, screw it. We're going this weekend. Yeah. Let's just go.
It just went out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, boom, they're going.
But I'm okay with that.
I was happy with it. I was sitting there going, I literally had my mouth open watching it because I was like, I can't believe it's actually happening. I really kept saying, it needs to happen.
And it did.
It needs to happen before Nicholas Chavez goes on, I was going to say medical leave. No, don't get a rumor start. No. Before he goes on leave.
Before he takes a leave of absence from the show to shoot a project.
To shoot a project. And the only reason he's still around is because of the actor strike.
Right.
He would have already been gone to shoot this project. So I was afraid that it wasn't going to happen. They were going to wait till November, for sweeps.
Yeah.
And then he wasn't going to be around. And you want it to happen while you have those two actors. You know, you got these two actors now.
Right.
We already had one.
Tabiana Lee, Nicholas Chavez.
Yeah, you didn't want
fantastic. Together.
You didn't want to see Tabby with a new Spence. You had to have these two because we've been doing this 2 years and we're already had one recast from Sydney. We need to, and it happened.
Yeah,
it literally happened. And they did it so well.
Yeah,
it carried on to the next day. You had a scene with them. I always tell my friends.
She went to the opera. They went to the opera. They had a restaurant. They had room service.
Young and the Restless. There's always a couple in bed talking the whole entire thing. And I always tell my other soap friends that don't watch Y&R anymore, and I always go, here they're in bed all week. Here they're in bed all day. Can I see this? Can I see Spencer and Trina in bed, not talking about family, home, and everything else?
Yeah.
Not talking. I won't even say her name. Can't say her
name.
What,
the baby?
I can't mention the baby or her name.
I do have a beef about that.
We will get on that in a second.
I will get on that in a second.
We will get in a second. But I want him in bed just talking, kissing, saying what they meant to them.
Yeah.
The line,
what they mean to each other.
that Spencer said, "I've loved you since the first day I met you,
Oh,
Trina
I know.
Robinson."
It was so sweet.
And we know the first day.
Yeah.
You know, they met. You know, they did a flashback.
Right.
And they showed all of the scenes. You know, all the scenes. You know, with Taviana, because they had to. You know, but
yeah,
they had
the scenes that solidified the relationship.
Their
that was
relationship.
Great.
And they showed it.
Right.
And they showed her face, and they had the thing with the, you know, it was just like, wow. And she was dreaming it back. And
right.
then there was a part where typical Spencer was like, he said to us, the woman, he said to us, the woman I love. And she didn't, he said to the woman I love in the hotel, where they were before they made out, before they went to dinner. And she said, I don't know what she said, but she didn't say I love you back.
Anything,
she didn't say it. And
so
then they got the champagne, and he's putting, he's feeding her a grape. It was things that you do.
Right. And then later, in the weekend, she said, I love you. And he goes, I was wondering because you didn't say it.
And then typical
when I said it back.
I'm not a patient man. What is this so? And then she's like, well, my Aunt Stella said. It was the typical black girl line. She said, well, my aunt.
Black girl magic.
Like, I'm going to wait and make you say it first.
Exactly.
I'm not going to let you say it
because you know that I love you already.
Yeah, you know I love you already, but I'm not going to let you know just in case. And he was like, wait, what?
Oh, my God, it was so
kind
cute.
of funny because he was kind of like with the waiter, like kind of like, to sit down, and he was like, you could tell that was like bothering
the
him
whole time. Yeah,
and they went. Then on one part of it's really really cute when they were in the dorm scene beforehand, and he goes, "I'm gonna take you to a play." And she goes, "Oh my God, how do you know? And how do you know?" And he's like, "Wow, it's like I know you. It's like we're dating, and I know you so well."
Yeah,
it was just the mannerisms of it, of the two of them, and it was funny because they were like so in sync. But that scene in the dorm room, I really liked it because that's what happens. You knock on the person's door. We've been to college.
Oh yeah, gotta study.
You knock on the door. You got the roommate. Roommate's not there. So you're kissing all over.
Yeah, I won't mention no names, but I've had plenty of roommates that had some issues and plenty of like dates.
The college days.
Yes, the salad days. Anyway.
And I'm sure everybody can relate to going to college and you got a roommate and you don't know the person.
Yes.
And then sometimes you do know the person.
Yeah, I know. But I would have killed
the person.
And no offense to any of my, college roommates.
But
they are. But the relationship that Trina and Joss have right now, and they're building on that, is really cute. I would kill to have that kind of relationship with a few of my roommates. Not all, but a few. Anyway. Anyway, I've got a beef with this whole thing with the one who shall not be named. And Spencer.
Are we going to talk about that right now before we finish New York? Okay, let's go talk, because I can talk about New York all day. But anyway, Spencer and Trina made love. They actually had sex.
Yeah, they came back.
It went for the
They're
weekend.
a couple.
They showed them they were going for round 2 and 3 and 4.
They were
talking.
Get it?
They were doing everything. They even had the whole typical where she turns around. He takes off her dress. He kisses her neck.
Yeah.
Then you see the dress fall.
Right.
Then she's there, and her brother. Then he takes off the shoe. He puts her on the bed.
Cute.
The only thing I was really really surprised at, that he took off his shirt.
And thank God he did. He looked really good. I was like, all right.
It's really, really funny because since we've been following him since day one, I have other friends that aren't as into it as I am, but that's another story. And they're like, is that the same actor?
Yeah, he went to prison.
One of my friends texted me. She's like, is that the same actor? Because it looks like the same. I'm like, that can't be the same guy.
Yes,
and
Spencer went to prison.
I found some pictures from the Emmys that I took of him at the Emmys, and I'm like, I know the difference because you've been following it, but I kept thinking, Spencer went to prison, and while he was there,
and when you
worked
bulked
out,
up in prison.
and he bulked up in prison.
Yeah.
That's a story.
That is a story.
That's a story, but I thought you were going to see more of Spencer, like more of him, like you saw Trina. I'm not, I just thought that was the perfect opportunity. You got the guy with the body here. You got the person. You could have worked it, but anyway. The scenes were hot. They looked realistic.
Very hot. And
they looked real.
And the follow-up scenes have been good, too.
The direction was great.
He took her home.
The petals on the...
Spencer's
got the cash. He's got the petals, the petals on the bed, the champagne, the breakfast. He's got it all. And then the way they did the New York skyline.
Oh,
and
that was fantastic.
I mean, and the way
they looked like they were on the rooftop of a restaurant in New York with the skyline behind it. Oh my God, beautiful, beautiful.
And to think about, they shot that. They literally shot the bedroom. The 2 bedroom scenes over 2 days, and then they didn't shoot the New York scene until like September.
Right.
And then they incorporated, but it was just so great. It was
very well done.
It was so great. It was so lovely.
Yes.
I guess I'll keep it short because I can go on and on and on. And then
you keep it
the
short.
Scene. He gives her the necklace, and then the scene at the end when they're leaving. They are leaving New York, and they are leaving the hotel room. And she turns around and she looks at the bed, and she's like, "Bye." And then he turns around and he's grabbing her little bag. She's like, "I got some more stuff," and he's helping her pack. And he turns around and he looks at the bed, and the reaction that I got looking was that she's looking like, I have just left paradise.
Yeah.
And I'm in New York City. I have left paradise, and now I'm going back to Port Charles, New York.
Yeah, it's like
back to
it's gonna be like, just like it never happened.
Back to it like it never happened. It was like a dream.
Yeah.
And I keep thinking, did it really happen? Was that like a dream?
But that's like soap operas.
I still got
that happens.
I still have those shows on my TV. I have YouTubes of that. I have to have on my TV, and I don't keep many things on my DVR.
Yeah.
I usually erase things off. Well, I don't. You do. But anyway.
Yeah.
Now go. Tell me, we are now back in hell. We're now back in Port Charles.
Like, it's not quite hell.
Sorry, I shouldn't say hell.
My whole pet peeve about the whole Spencer side of the storyline with him taking care of his baby brother, living with his grandmother, making sure the little boy gets loved and stuff, and him and the one who shall not be named co-parenting this child is because I have a completely different definition of what co-parenting is. Co-parenting to me is we both take care of the child, but we don't take care of that child together. I have the kid Monday through Wednesday, and you have Thursday through Sunday. Sunday we meet at church, we meet at McDonald's, we meet wherever.
We meet at Kelly's.
Meet at Kelly's. Or grandma comes and picks the baby up, and you meet there, and then I go on with my life with the kid, you go on with your life with the kid. That's co-parenting. I don't know what the heck they're doing. They have their roommates who will go to doctor's appointments together, which I guess I could understand that. But then they're going to go out for ice cream together because the baby made a shot. Is she going to be home? Is he going to be home for dinner because it's time to feed the baby and put the baby to bed? And I'm like, huh? He's not even 2. He's 1? Number 1. And
he was born on January.
And Spencer's not even his father.
Yes.
He can see the kid once a day. Why doesn't he have lunch with the kid every day? Or he picks the kid up from the nursery or wherever the hell he works. And then he brings the kid home, and then he goes home and then, you know what? God forbid, here's a thought. He could go home to his own apartment.
Yes.
He doesn't even necessarily have to go home with Trina. I don't know. I just don't understand this whole thing. And I feel like, did they have it to be a different way on paper, but then it wasn't supposed to be? Are they trying to change SMA? Who knows what they're doing with this whole thing? And I don't know. I just don't get it. And it's like, I don't like it. I understand it because it's a soap opera, and all soap operas are supposed to have angst, and people are supposed to have obstacles, and people are supposed to have whatever. I just thank God that it's not actually his kid, number 1. Number 2, there's been all these hints and all this conversation about Nicholas, that maybe Nicholas will come back, take care of his own damn kid, ignore his own damn kid, fight for custody, with the mother, who knows, all this stuff. And I just don't get it. And then I'm jumping out ahead, but it just made me think of something like that. Does Ava know that Nicholas is alive?
No.
Is that going to happen? I feel like
everybody knows her.
I feel like they've lost some momentum on that storyline because there's all those beats missing. Like, she should know already. Laura's been home, a day and a half?
Yeah.
She's changed clothes 2 or 3 times, right?
Yeah.
So why wouldn't she tell Ava?
Laura's visiting everybody. Oh, it's going to happen this week. But Laura's off seeing everybody. Didn't tell Ava. Trina had lunch with Ava.
And Nicholas's name didn't come up.
His name didn't come up. She told her all about. Trina was like, you know what? Trina was like, I don't want to talk about her and that baby. I'm not going to talk about her right now. I want to tell you about my trip
weekend with my man.
You know, and that's my man, you know. And she said, he can be a pain, but that's my pain.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
But it wouldn't came up. There is no way Trina and Ava had lunch.
There's too many beats. It's just weird.
And it was really sentimental. Like she's like a daughter her, and Nicholas didn't come up.
Yeah,
Spencer came and told her. And then it's like, Laura lives with Spencer. How did he not know Cyrus was out of jail? It's just like little beats like that.
Right.
But the problem with that story, okay, first of all, it's nothing, the baby. It's nothing against the cast.
No.
Nothing against the cast. She's an excellent actress. You know, she's great. Babies, little twins, little chunky twins, cute as a dickens.
Yeah, they're very cute. Cute as a button.
Cute as a button.
Can't wait to see their little Halloween costumes.
Yeah, I'm sure it's coming. But they need to go. It's over. It's done.
That storyline has been exhausted.
Out.
It's so sad because the kid's not even one. It's time to get rid of that kid because I feel like Spencer is reliving Jason's storyline when he was raising Michael.
Yes.
Jason raised Michael for a year.
We have done this.
Yeah, while Carly was absent.
We don't want to do it again.
Carly was going through her postpartum depression. And now we have the same thing with Spencer, quote unquote, raising the baby while Nicholas is unavailable. And it's like,
And then, I know I mentioned it last time, but she has a job working with Alexis. And the baby, Alexis has at the paper a daycare.
Oh,
so you can bring your kid to work with you.
Yeah.
And
I'm like, is it free?
And the kid is there. Well, she ain't paid for nothing anyway. I haven't seen her pay for one thing since she gave Spencer that $36 2 years ago at the Metro Court when they couldn't afford the breakfast at their Nicholas Cutter's credit cards. Other than that, she has not paid 1 cent for anything. It's like everyone is giving her every single thing. Free rent. Free rent. She's living
free
in the mayor's
amnesia,
house.
Free mind, free baby.
She lives in the mayor's house.
Free medical bills.
She's a criminal.
Oh, Spencer plays that.
She's a criminal.
Yep.
She's a predator. She's been left
smooth criminal.
All the stuff she's done, but she has not paid for one thing. And now that she lost her mind, everyone's being nice. And then the mothers of these people, the mothers of the victims, are so nice. Portia is treating her so nice. Laura was nice to her.
Yeah,
Not Laura.
I'm done with that.
Not Laura. Well, Laura was nice to her.
Yeah.
Carly's nice to her. Elizabeth's nice to her.
Yeah,
but she harmed these kids. And Portia, who we won't get on today because of time, has so much smoke for Spencer and so much smoke for Cyrus. I'm like, you need that kind of smoke that you have for Cyrus on her. Because she hurt your daughter. She didn't care. I was going to have your daughter go to 5 years in jail.
It's them trying to change the direction of
5
the character,
years in
the
jail.
around, right?
And they showed her on screen say, "I'm going to sit in the courtroom and watch her and laugh when she gets sentenced to 5 years." That was an actual line.
I know, but
in the
that was a whole lot of time ago, and they don't want you to remember it because they want you to see.
They don't want you to remember it.
The good girl
so they have everybody saying stuff. Even Alexis started saying stuff like, "Oh, she's a hard worker and she's a hard this," and I'm
you're
like,
a good mother.
You're a good mother
because she can carry the baby on her hip and give him a lollipop.
You're a good mother. And then we have Kevin, Uncle Kevin, who they have no relationship, although he is the relative.
I would like to see him have a relationship. Try to raise her.
Try to raise her.
Try to figure out why she did the things that she did in the first place.
That's what's missing from the storyline. But they want you to forget about it.
You know what? I really don't care.
So
even if they gave her a storyline, I don't know if I would care.
I don't care. It's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
And it's bad to be that way, but this character is overstayed her welcome.
Yep.
Her and Gladys. But now Gladys is
gone. Gladys, Mason. Who else?
We won't get started on Mason.
Yeah, but he's overstayed his welcome too.
I do have one thing. So that baby's in daycare every day between 8 to 5 and 9 every time she works.
Yeah, 9 to 6.
Then that means Spencer is free in the daytime.
Right.
To go see Trina. So why don't Spencer...
Or to go to school to
work. Or to go to school to work.
Yeah.
Or just to hang out. So why can't Spencer come and get this baby, like at 2 o'clock or whatever, take him out of daycare, bond with him.
Which is how co-parenting.
Bond with him, hang out, go to the park, play games, all this stuff,
Got to have you back by 7 o'clock when your mom gets home.
So he takes him to his own apartment that he can afford, and then she gets off of work at 5 or 6 or whatever, and I'm sure there's
he could have taken Sasha's old place. That was free.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Valentine had. Well, no, it got burned down with Anna.
That was Anna's. But come on, he could get with the Metrocorp.
Yeah.
Anyway, so people live there all the time.
Yeah.
Why not him?
Yeah.
So
Anna's living there now.
I'm sure there's a private car that makes sure she gets home safely.
Yeah.
Besides Spencer picking her up. Really? Come on.
I know. She can't ride share.
Come on. In New York, she was ride sharing all the time.
Yeah.
When she had no money.
If you ride so many times, you can get a 10%
discount. Why isn't she in the ride share? Okay, so she can go home.
Yeah.
Back to Laura's and have time to herself. She can eat dinner, she can chill, she can rest and everything, take her bag, get ready for the work, and then he can bring baby boy back, and then she can put him down and put him to bed, and then he can go back. But no, they got it to the point where she can't even have dinner.
Yeah, he's got to do the bottle. He's got to sing the song. It's like,
and then
you can't record that song. Come on.
Yeah,
he got to be there.
He got to be there. So. Yeah, she got an iPhone.
Kids don't know.
Have him put the song on.
And you got FaceTime, for God's sake.
You got iPhone, you got baby monitors, but he got to sing the song in person.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then one last thing about it.
She ain't slick.
You ain't slick. And then he goes out of town. She's such a good mother. She can handle it. He went out of town for 2 days. 2 days. And then they have the setup the scene when they come in the house and the baby's just sitting there by himself.
Yeah.
She put that baby there because she knew what time Spencer's flight was coming. So she says, I know what time his flight's coming. I know how long it takes on the private plane. He has a shuttle. The shuttle guy is, you come down from the airport and they're there with the sign. You do that.
I'm going to try to give her a pass on that one.
No.
Kind of. Only because sometimes a mother or a person who's taking care of a child can get overwhelmed with the child being around everywhere and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to give her a teeny weeny pass on that one.
Nope. Because Laura left Lucy and Marty in charge, and they came one day and said, "No, I'm out. I'm not doing this." Lucy's like, "I ain't got enough gummies to deal with her and this baby. I'm out." Then Laura also had Alexis to check in. Spencer went to talk to Alexis.
Yeah,
Can you check in?
Make sure
because I'm going away. She works with Alexis. Alexis like, nope.
Okay, well,
9 to 5, go home.
She did
Spencer with all his other relatives. He's got Sam.
Yeah, I was going to say he's got the Kardashians.
He's got 100 relatives.
The Cassadines.
He's got.
No, but I mean Sam and Christina and Molly. They're the Quartermain. The Kardashian version of the Hospital. Yeah.
He's got Sam who talks to him every 6 months. But it's going to help him. But she can't help him. But she went all the way to London to find Maggie Fitzgerald. Thank God. Well, I shouldn't speak too soon. Maggie can be coming tomorrow. She went to go find the nanny.
I forgot about that.
But then she couldn't help him anymore.
Drescher?
And she couldn't.
You said the nanny.
Would have been funny. So that we have Victor Cassadine. We have Charles. But anyway, she couldn't find the nanny and all this stuff too. But so instead of having Sam time with Spencer, Sam was all on the Dante Sasha thing.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying about the paths aren't crossing. Yeah,
Spencer has
beats are missing.
Spencer should be talking to Molly. Well, and Chris. Well, now they got new ones, so and I'm gonna work on that more. But Spencer should be talking to his other relatives. And
then
involved.
Spencer could have tried to take Trina to Puerto Rico for the wedding. Rather than that Turks and Caicos where he wanted to go to. He should have tried to take her for the wedding, and then she'd be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can't go out of the country." Out of the country, we're off the mainland, even though because Puerto Rico is part of the States.
They could have been in New York. And when Sonny walked around and told everybody in town he was getting married except, his little nephew Spencer, he should have said, "Oh,
let's fly down." And she'd be like, "Well, I got a paper on Monday."
"I got a paper on Monday. I got to go." And he could be like, "This is my Uncle Sonny. He has a private plane. We're going to fly to the wedding. Sonny's going to get married, and we're going to fly back out after we leave New York. And you'll still be home on Monday to write that paper we know you have done for Tuesday. But
that would have been nice. Sense. But that would have been too much.
And that would have been...
Because we can't have, we had a nice thing. We can't have a super nice thing.
But that would have made sense because Sonny always took care of Spencer. That's his sister's kid.
Yeah.
He lived with Sonny. He was looking at a real estate at one point. He was calling the real estate to get the thing, and I guess whatever happened.
Yeah.
Ava gave him the
money.
money.
Why doesn't he take Nina's apartment?
He had Nina's apartment.
Yeah, she's living with Sonny now, right?
Yeah.
So shouldn't her apartment be free?
There you go. But
we got it all figured out.
But Nina can't talk to Spencer. And Nicholas Chavez said he wants to work with Cynthia Rancho. Cynthia said she wants to
Nina,
but they can't be.
Because she can only talk to 3 characters.
Yeah. He was working.
She can only talk to Willow and Michael and Sonny.
Yes, I guess at one point when they were sharing that house, I guess they missed each other. The Sonny's penthouse is real big.
Yeah.
And whatever else too. So I don't understand why this baby has to be there and why Spencer can't have his own place. Why he has to be there at night. And then Laura and Kevin come home.
Maybe it's coming.
So then Laura and Kevin come home, and I'm like, great. We know she's crushing on him. We know, he should move. Laura's home and get out together, and now they're starting this. He's so obsessed with the baby, kind of the way they were acting.
No,
like,
not obsessed.
He's
attached to the baby.
Sorry, I shouldn't say obsessed.
And they're setting it up so that when Nicholas comes back, he'll be hurt.
He's going to be hurt. Yep.
He won't be involved. He'll be on the outside looking in.
He
they're
would be on the outside looking in.
I don't think it's obsession.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's genuine love.
Sorry, I shouldn't have said obsession. I mean, it came out wrong. I used the wrong word, and the wrong word makes a big difference. And now he's kind of butting heads with Kevin. It's like, let's just end this.
Oh, because Kevin's trying to let him know that it's coming. You're not the parent. You're not the father. When Kevin said to him, Esme is exercising her parental rights, which you don't have. You have none. That was just a way to let him know. Let him know. Yep. Yeah, and so it would be nice if he weaned himself off because Trina said the same thing.
Trina told him.
And Kevin said the same thing to him. And he's starting to see it a little bit.
Yep.
That would be nice. If we could get more of that, in the near future, that would be good. And if we could get more of that without complications to his relationship with Trina, that would be even better.
Yeah, and if you want to keep the character, just put a different storyline. The potential storyline, she works at the paper. Put her in that judge little storyline,
Yeah.
Or have her, she should have been the one that found out Gregory was sick.
Yeah.
And she could have been hiding it from his family.
Yeah.
And all that too.
Or trying to advocate her, make her feel better.
Or she should have been maybe trying to, cover story for the hospital and get into something like that.
Who knows?
Or her Uncle Kevin.
Yeah, make her a reporter. Make her something.
Or
because she supposedly is a psychology student. I don't know.
Oh, I forgot about that nonsense. Or she should have came back as a twin. Kevin and Ryan are twins.
No, she didn't have to be.
No.
I don't want her to be a twin. I want her to come back as another character. She could be the recast Molly. Just have her come back, be the recast Molly.
Because the one girl kind of looked like her. They took the one scene. I thought, what is that? They do it at Sam's house.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, who? And since we keep recasting Molly's, that actually could work.
Yeah. I know.
I can't see it.
Or she could have been. She's used to having babies and having the fake baby bump. Maybe she could have been Christina, Molly's surrogate, as another character.
Anybody but the
character she currently is.
We know the show is insistent on keeping this actress, so I know that's what it is, and that's fine. Just get her away from Spencer and Trina. Just get her away. Get her away.
Or have her actually pay, or have some consequences for what she has done in the past.
Yes, because I know, and people.
They even had Nicholas kidnap her.
Yes.
So that you could feel sorry for her, and people rooting for her. Oh, I got to be free. Nicholas did a horrible, despicable thing. Yes. They did all that, and it's still not working for me.
Not working for me.
I want to root for this actress. I wanted to have a storyline I can watch and enjoy, but it's hard to watch. It's hard to look at her at this particular point.
I can't.
But you never know. Maybe things will change when the old writers return and we start seeing their work again. But I don't have that much confidence to know that it'll change.
Or patience. Let us pray. Let us pray.
Speaking of praying,
let us pray that it works out. Because all I need to see, and it's hard because. And people tell me when I get upset, and I mention it, well, it's a soap opera. It's not real. It's a fictional show. I know that, but I need justice for Trina because Trina is that girl. And maybe, you know, but, well, anyway.
Speaking of praying.
Yes.
Cyrus has found Jesus.
Yes, he has.
And he's out of prison.
Yeah.
So
but he went to prison. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, of course he went.
He went.
Yeah, and he's out of prison now. He got an early release.
Yeah.
And so then that ties into Sunny, Cyrus versus Sunny, which hopefully will be good. I don't know. I feel like it'll be as big of a letdown as some of the other ones because it hasn't been. It's like they built it up, but they built it up and surrounded it around different characters. Like Austin, am I supposed to feel bad for him? Yeah. He lied to Ava. He's using Ava. He says he's feeling things for Ava. And I want Cyrus, maybe if Cyrus is Austin's dad, that would give him some kind of brooding value or some kind of storyline because that would tie him in to Laura.
Yep.
And all the, other people in Port Charles. So maybe this will give Austin something. Who knows?
Yeah, because we find out now after all of this time, the mob boss is now a guy. It's like they don't really know who the mob boss is, or they had somebody to play the mob boss and the deal went through because it went on for almost a year. The mob, the head boss was this girl, this woman. She's not gonna like this. She's not gonna like this. She's not gonna like this.
It's the warden,
and
right?
then we don't know who it is really. But now it's
or that lady that Victor had that got killed.
We don't really know.
Well, anyway.
We don't know. And
now we know it's Cyrus.
One day, Mason, who needs to be off by TV too.
Oh,
a year later,
later,
Mason says, "We got to do this. You got to handle this, Austin." So the boss ain't gonna like it. He ain't gonna like. What do you mean he? Like. It's a guy. And now they're leading that it's probably Cyrus. And then you find that Cyrus, he knows Austin. Yeah. He paid for his college.
He was a kid, yeah.
So then that ties into Austin coming doing those fake surgeries for them.
Right.
And then the whole twist of him, that Nicholas ended up being alive, which we knew he was alive. But the fact that he was alive, research up drinking a beer. Right. He's up drinking a beer. I mean, you're like, okay. Then you find
flying out of the country.
And then he's like, well... You don't know. Well, and then Cyrus talks to Mason in jail, and he goes, "I don't like something." He goes, "Well, my nephew doesn't make the calls." Oh, so did Nicholas know about this? And they tied this whole thing in, which was good to lead back to Spencer, but it needs to lead back. It needs to be now. Nicholas is running around. He's left them, and he's setting it up so they made sure Laura knew he was alive.
I'm hoping that they were waiting for the writer's strike.
Yeah, so that way
it
would stop Spencer from getting the money. Because after 6 months, Spencer's supposed to get the money as the next, heir. So right then, it should be boom, Nicholas is alive. Laura tells Spencer. Well, Laura did tell Spencer. And now he can't get the money. So now Nicholas starts playing his game over. And then now Ava finds out Nicholas is alive and Ava's out for war.
Right.
And bring bad-ass Ava back.
Yes.
Because they got Ava looking weak. Ava has killed for less. I know she's been a changed person because she had a second chance with a new daughter.
Yeah,
but you mean
Kiki
to tell
died,
me
so she's feeling bad.
that Ava is running around being scared
of Mason, of all people,
walking around with a lollipop, and I won't even get on that part. Walking around with a lollipop, the whole play off the Kojak thing or something, and he's sitting there, standing up in the Metro Court saying, "You better give me your phone number." So I can call you because I know what you did last summer.
It's like walking around Windermere like he owns the place. Yeah, he needs to go.
It's just coming in, going, and I'm like,
go. Bye, go.
Wouldn't one of the security guards say something, and wouldn't one of the people say something? He just has complete access to everything.
Yeah.
No one said, did Ava put him on the call list? There was a time you couldn't even get on the boat to get to Windermere.
Right, to get to Windermere. You just now anybody's on the launch.
Anyone just shows up.
There's a back way to get on now.
Yeah. Well, there's a back way. Everyone knows the way to the castle.
Yeah, through the tunnels.
Come on. We've been watching. Cassadines have been around forever. It's like, let's get it moving. So anyway, we need to
Speaking of getting it moving,
we need to get this podcast moving because I can start on Mason and other characters all day long, but I won't.
No.
But please, let's get some drama going. I want to see good stuff happen next 2 weeks. I know that the spoilers for next week look good.
Oh, good.
Usually when you read the spoilers, you're like,
what are they?
Or you don't really, or the spoilers
are
so vague.
Right.
Like they're so vague that
they're vague,
and
for
they're vague
you
on
to
purpose
tune
for
in.
you to tune in. But just looking at we'll see when the preview ad comes out because the trailer for the next week, the commercial for the next week should be out in a few hours.
Oh,
so
cool.
we'll see what they're going to show. But I think we're going to get some good stuff
I'm waiting.
because it is sweeps.
Right.
And like I always tell people, there's going to be stuff you love, stuff you hate, characters you love, characters you hate. But I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really hoping that, I'm going to be more happy than sad. It's still my show, and I'm going to be watching the show, forever. And that's it. So that's what's going on in General Hospital.
There's a lot going on,
but we just gave you a brief thing of what's happened with certain, I shouldn't say
well,
brief, as I
what
went
we
on for
thought
25
about
minutes. What we've been thinking about the show and a couple of the storylines going on right now.
Right.
Anyway, you can find me on social media at Belinda's LA Music. That's my address on Twitter. Also on Instagram, I'll be talking all things soap operas, Spencer and Trina, and music, of course.
Right.
Phyllis, where can we find you?
I'm at Phyllis_Thomas. Just find me. Or you can look at the TV Music Network, social media page. I'm just around.
Yeah, we also have Twitter, Instagram, TV Music Network.
This podcast that you can find on YouTube. You can find it wherever you get your podcast.
Yeah, you can find us on iHeart. You can find us
Apple.
on Apple. We're everywhere.
Amazon.
We need a sponsor.
Yeah. Yes, please. We need a sponsor. I shouldn't say please. We would like a sponsor.
We would like a sponsor.
And we'll probably do an active campaign at some point.
And
for
right now,
maybe in the new year.
I am drinking Crystal Light Apple Teeny. Crystal Light Apple Teeny, which is so good. It's so good.
It's tasty, too.
And you can have it, and it's like 80% fewer calories than your leading beverage. And the good part about it, you can have it with water, like I have it, or you can have it with alcohol and make yourself, you have your choice. You
can have yourself a real teeny.
An apple teeny.
Yeah.
Oh, the best apple teenies are at the Rainbow.
Oh,
on the sunset. Oh,
so we can sponsor them. So hopefully Rainbow can sponsor us too.
Crystal Light. So if you're watching Crystal Light, we would like to get a sponsor.
If they're listening.
If they're listening, sorry. Or anybody else who's listening that would like to sponsor us. We'll take a sponsor. But anyway, so we're going to close out on that note. You can listen to our previous podcasts.
Yes.
TV Music Network. You can also read our stories and spoilers and all talks, seeing soap operas and
talk about all things entertainment,
TV, music, all entertainment related on TV Music Network. And closing us out, we do have a sponsor. We have our music, our original song that closes in and out for our song. It's an original song. It's called Eden.
Very nice song.
Yeah, very nice song. And thanks to our writers who gave us the song, John Morgan and Dave Simiak.
Thanks, guys.
Take us away. Bye, everybody. Stay safe.
Goodbye.
Sometimes that